Now on CoastTV News.
Demolition decision after nearly a year of waiting. When we will learn about the date for demolition of the building that was once home to the iconic Dolle sign.
Plus, coastal bays breakdown. We learn how these waterways rate near the Worcester County shore.
A cold and blustery day awaits. It will feel more like the 20s throughout the afternoon, tracking a chance for snow and then another Arctic blast.
Traffic talks. What changes a Rehoboth Beach committee is considering for parking, left turns, and dogs on the beach.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we continue with our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Today is Thursday, December 11th, 2025.
Yeah, moments ago, if you just missed that, we were talking Christmas cookies, baking Christmas cookies. I'm telling you, this is not the best time of year if you're hoping not to gain weight. No. It is a challenge in my household. No. So many treats, Grace.
I can only imagine. First world problem.
It is a first world problem.
I can only imagine how hard that must be. I am saving room myself. I told you earlier, it's my grandfather's 85th birthday today, and I just know there is going to be a massive chocolate cake waiting for me back home in Pennsylvania. I'm counting down the hours.
Not pumpkin pie.
Not
chocolate
pie.
Cake.
Turn to another Pennsylvanian. Chris, it's cold here. It's cold in Pennsylvania. It's cold everywhere.
You got that right. You might have to save me a piece of that chocolate cake, Grace. That sounds really good. And I'll tell you what, we have cold air, reinforcing cold air over the next few days, pushing into the peninsula. We're at 38 right now in Cambridge, so temperatures are generally in the upper 30s. 37 in Milford. We're at 39 in Georgetown, 41 in Ocean City. Now, a cold front has pushed through the area, so that's kicking the winds up, gusting to 24 Indian River Inlet, 21 in Millsboro and Georgetown. So it's feeling more like the 20s, 28 in Rehoboth, feels like 29 in Seaford, 27 in Harrington. So there's the cold front now well offshore, some streaming snow showers and some snow squalls back off to the west. Temperatures only getting into the upper 30s this afternoon under mostly sunny skies, but the wind chill is going to be right in the upper 20s. So bundle up, dress warm, especially if you're going to be outside for long periods of time. We stay dry into our Friday, could see a late snow shower, and then we start the weekend dry, but as we go into Sunday, could see a round of snow and some accumulating snow at that. We'll talk more about that in my full 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is the One Rehoboth Hotel. It's set to go on the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk. It's where the iconic red Dolle sign used to be. That was a landmark in the nation's summer capital.
It sure was, Matt. CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber live in Rehoboth Beach. And Elisa, the project has been approved for almost a year now, but that building still remains untouched.
We're on the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk in front of the location for the One Rehoboth Hotel. And this building is probably one of the most photographed spots here in Rehoboth Beach. It's where Dolle's used to be, and it's where that iconic red Dolle sign used to hang. But Dolle's moved from this location back in 2021, and the new hotel has been approved since January. After almost a year, we could get a date as to when demolition is set to begin on this building. The city told us that conversation is set to take place tomorrow, Friday, December 12th, at the city's Planning and Zoning meeting. Demolition signs on the boardwalk indicate work was expected to begin around late October, but that never happened. Plans show the project will include 60 hotel rooms and retail space on the first floor. And demolition did begin on the old Sirocco Motel, which is located right behind this building on Baltimore Avenue. But for right now, this cherished landmark in Rehoboth Beach remains untouched. Back to you.
That was Lisa Weber live in Rehoboth Beach. And in the city, also happening today, traffic concerns taking center stage. According to the agenda of the City Streets and Safety Advisory Committee, they're looking to discuss speed limits, traffic calming measures, and signage. Officials will hear from people who live at Henlopen and Columbia Avenue. Now, also under review is consolidating seasonal regulations. These include parking, left turns, dogs on the beach into 2 consistent seasons.
Happening today, a public hearing for a proposed development in Milford. According to the agenda for the Board of Adjustment meeting, Reserve at Herring Branch wants to build multifamily apartments on almost 18.5 acres of land. City documents say the land is located on the west side of South Walnut Street, and Milford officials will gather today at 10 a.m.
The Maryland Coastal Bays program is set to unveil the 2024 Coastal Bays Report Card. This degrades the health of the state's 5 coastal bays along with the St. Martin River. They're using 6 scientific indicators, combining them into an overall score. And that report card gets unveiled at 2 p.m. at Mickey Finn's in West Ocean City.
Federal judge is striking down Donald Trump's executive order blocking wind energy projects. It's part of a lawsuit filed by Delaware's Kathy Jennings, Maryland's Anthony Brown, and 16 other attorney generals. Now, in that lawsuit, they alleged that the federal agency's actions harmed their state's efforts to secure affordable sources of energy. The executive order attempted to halt virtually all leasing of wind farms on federal lands and waters.
Yeah, on a related note, Fenwick Island still looking at an appeal against a Delaware bill that overrode local denials for an offshore wind substation. The bill was signed into law this past June, and it says that if a company wants to build an electric substation to support a renewable energy project, the county must allow it. Sussex County voted down the substation application, but according to the new law, if a project was previously rejected, it now has approval if it does meet certain requirements. And this just in, the Trump administration continues to escalate military activity in the Caribbean. U.S. federal agencies seized an oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast.
The Attorney General says it was involved in an illicit shipping network that supported terrorists. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what the president says about the overseas efforts.
This morning, tensions with Venezuela sharply escalating, with the Venezuelan government accusing the U.S. of, quote, a blatant theft and an act of international piracy over this moment when elite Coast Guard forces, according to 2 U.S. officials, rappel out of helicopters onto a massive oil tanker off Venezuela, executing what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a seizure warrant.
We've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large.
The Attorney General saying the tanker was transporting sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran, part of a, quote, illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations.
It was seized for a very good reason.
It's unclear where the oil on board was headed or what happens to it next.
Well, we keep it, I guess.
The Venezuelan government now claiming President Trump's ramped-up pressure campaign against authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro is about the country's rich oil reserves instead of drug trafficking. The Trump administration has been striking alleged drug boats off the Venezuelan coast and threatening to move on land, accusing Maduro of being tied to a drug trade that steals American lives, and putting out a $50 million reward for information leading to his capture. Maduro denies the allegations, and while he says his country is ready to fight, at a Wednesday rally he addressed Americans who don't want war.
Don't worry, be happy.
All as President Trump suggested Colombia may be next in his fight against the drug trade. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Some things to know back here at home. Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings says you could get a piece of a $700 million settlement with Google. It's for anyone who bought apps or games on the Google Play Store between August 2016 and September 2023. Most people don't have to do anything. Money will be automatically sent through PayPal or Venmo to the email or phone linked to your Google Play account. And if you don't have a PayPal or Venmo account or can't access your account info, you'll need to sign up online to claim your payment.
Later today in Dover, a convoy of trucks carrying thousands of wreaths heading to Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. They will stop at the Dover Motor Speedway for a ceremony to recognize the commitment of honoring America's fallen service members. The public is invited to attend the ceremony. This has been moved inside the Bally's Dover Rollins Center Ballroom A. It's due to the expected cold conditions that Chris has been telling us about. And I am honored to be the MC of this event. The ceremony begins at 3:30 this afternoon.
Really special cause, Matt. And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up on CoastTV News Today, dog walking regulation request. We'll tell you why one animal rights group is pushing for increased rules in Delaware.
And health issues addressed. What came out of a summit in Dover this week and how it could benefit people in Sussex County.
But first, weapons used by pirates and other pieces of history found near our beaches. How a man who grew up in Milton is now showcasing local maritime history. This week's Coastal Connection is next. The Delmarva coast has seen its share of shipwrecks. It's seen some of the most infamous pirates in history. In this week's Coastal Connection, we learn how a teenager from Milton, with a fascination of tales from the sea, grew up to be one of our area's great storytellers of maritime history. A calm after a storm like October's nor'easter. It often produces treasure along the southern Delaware coast.
You can walk along that beach and find the coins that wash ashore from that particular ship.
The shipwreck is the Faithful Stewart in 1785 near the Indian River Inlet, and it is largely because of the work of Dale Clifton that we know today the details of what occurred over 200 years ago.
I actually found my first shipwreck when I was 14, started working that wreck, and 40-some years later I'm still working wrecks. I had to start doing some research and started researching in the archives over in England and Ireland, and then finally found the account of the ship that had sank off of our coast that was carrying that type of coinage.
Coins from the shipwreck, like the Faithful Stewards, show the effects of centuries under the sea. Some are found in a clump like this. Clifton is skilled in extracting these links to the past.
We soak them in fresh water and change the water at least once a day. We're trying to get the items to have no more than 1,000 parts per million salt.
It is work Clifton does in this office at the Discoveries from the Sea Museum in Fenwick Island. This extensive collection on display is a passion for maritime archaeology that was formed during his teenage years.
At about 16 years of age, I made my mind up. If I'm ever lucky enough to find some of this stuff, I want to create permanent homes around the world where people can go and not only hear the story, but see the artifact that backs that story up.
Including stories of pirates who found success in our waters.
Blackbeard favored this area because he knew that the Delmarva coast, being a very prominent strategic point of ships coming into Philadelphia, that we didn't have a lot of militias along our coast. So those pirates did come to this area a lot to plunder ships because they knew that they could probably get away with it. If you've ever heard the old expression, never take a knife to a gunfight, you'll see that this pirate had it covered because when you flip it over, built into the dagger was a single flintlock pistol.
This unique weapon is just one of many items that Clifton has collected since his teenage years. Some are on display in Fenwick Island, some are on loan. Some still need a little work, and many tell a story of a very different period of time along our shores. For Coastal Connections, I'm Matt Pinson. It is 6:17 and you are looking live at the early morning scene in Salisbury. Chris, it is December. We should expect cold weather, but I noticed on one of your maps, I peeked, that you are tracking a low of 18 degrees in the upcoming days.
Yeah, it's early next week. We're going to have another shot of Arctic air to look forward to as we're in this cycle of these brief shots of Arctic air, and we're going to continue to stay below average today as we take a live look in through Cambridge, where it is 38 degrees. You can see those winds out of the northwest gusting to near 22 miles an hour. We're at 38 Bridgeville, 39 in Georgetown, and 39 in Bethany Beach. The winds are going to continue to gust throughout the morning, anywhere between about 20 to as high as 35 miles an hour, gusting to 29 in Ocean City, and that's creating wind chills in the 20s. Feels like 27 Harrington, feels like the freezing mark in Georgetown, and 28 in Lewis. We do have a gale warning up for the Delaware beaches. Those run through 6 o'clock this evening. Could see winds as high as 30 to 40 knots offshore. Small craft advisory up through the Chesapeake Bay into Crisfield, as well as Ocean City down to Chicotee, and that runs through this evening as well. We're clear, just a few high clouds rolling through. There's the cold front pushing offshore. If you're heading north, southeastern Pennsylvania today, up through the Poconos, could run into a few snow squalls up in those areas, but we're going to be pretty dry as high pressure slides to our east. So we're going to stay with a mix of sun and clouds today. Highs in the 30s, but wind chills in the 20s. We stay cold, dry, partly sunny into Friday with the possibility of a late snow shower. Winds will gust through the afternoon to 35 miles an hour. The good news is the winds will relax through the evening and overnight, so Friday not looking as breezy as today is. The wind chills are going to stay feeling more like 27 in Long Neck by 4 o'clock, feeling like 26 in Milton. We'll see a few wind chills in the teens early tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today. Will stay clear overnight. Clouds will increase Friday. Temperatures are going to hover right around 38 this afternoon, but again, the wind chill is really going to be the story with those gusts to 35. It's going to feel more like the 20s for most of the day. Could see that late snow shower Friday. Most of that, I think, is going to stay to our west. Clouds on the increase. Saturday is dry, but late Saturday night into Sunday morning, we have an area of low pressure passing our southeast, an Arctic front sliding southward, so expecting an area of precipitation to form, and that will be in the form of snow. We could begin as some rain and mix, but then we're looking at pretty much all snow across the area. A brief window of it into early Sunday afternoon, and it will accumulate, and we are looking at that blast of cold Arctic air as we go into early next week. We're at 38 this afternoon, 25 overnight, not as breezy, 39 into our Friday with that late snow shower possible. Watching for that snow early Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, 35. There's that 18 Matt was talking about into Monday morning. Mostly sunny skies, and then we'll gradually rise back up to 48 degrees by Wednesday. Matt.
Pretty prominent 18, Chris. All right. We move on, and Delaware healthcare organizations came together recently to discuss and find solutions to the state's biggest challenges. It focused on several key topics, including workforce shortages and limited resources in rural areas. According to the organizations, collaboration is key when dealing with these issues.
One thing that we are talking about this year a lot is changes in federal policy that are honestly moving the wrong direction for Delaware families, making it harder for them to access healthcare services that they need. And that is an unfortunate reality of the moment we are living in, but we are all working together to do the best we can for Delaware families.
And another concern was federal policy changes that included recent Medicaid shifts. Up next on Coast TV News today, dog walking regulation request. We'll tell you why one animal rights group says increased walks will benefit your furry friends. We'll be right back.
Developing news now, Delaware lawmakers are being asked to consider a, quote, first of its kind proposal from the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, better known as PETA. The proposal would require dog owners to give their pets at least 3 walks per day, with one lasting a minimum of 1 hour. Coast TV News reporter Nicole Richter showing us what people think about the idea on the proposed law.
Dogs barking. Dogs playing. And right now, pet owners can walk their dogs however they want. But that could change.
I think it's insane.
PETA has sent a letter to Delaware lawmakers asking them to consider a new requirement, mandating 3 walks a day, one of them for at least an hour.
It's not realistic to put anything like that in effect.
PETA says many pets spend most of their day indoors, and that more consistent exercise could help prevent health problems.
I think it just makes life harder for dogs to stay at home, to be adopted. People feel like they have to make more of a commitment. Sometimes I take my dog for 6 walks a day. Sometimes he gets 2 walks a day. You know, we just do what we have to do.
PETA added that regular walks also provide dogs the necessary bathroom breaks they may not otherwise get. But Mark Zubro, who lives in the area, says this feels like an overreach.
Some days you don't want to walk your dog an hour, and then there's certain dogs that are older or infirm and can't walk for an hour.
Whether you think the idea is lovable or laughable, there's still a long walk to take before anything on the books can or will be changed.
Now, just to be clear, this is only just a letter. It's not an actual law on the table. But even if one of the lawmakers decides to take it on, Delaware could become one of the first states in the nation to legally require dog walking. In Lewis, I'm Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
New this morning, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources is looking for standout leaders in conservation and recreational fishing. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Maryland Sport Fisheries Achievement Award. The department says the honor recognizes people who have made contributions to habitat management, education, research, or any work that supports fish and recreational fishing. And people can submit nominations online now through January 31st of 2026.
Good Thursday morning, Delmarva. Hope your day is off to a great start. It's a cold one. We're seeing some blustery conditions in Ocean View. You can see the American flag there blowing in the wind. Some gusts upwards near 30 miles an hour. We're at 38 in Ocean View. Heading out, doing any Christmas shopping today. Grab the hot chocolate, dress warm. Fenwick Island in through Ocean City will top out around the upper 30s, but those winds are going to make it feel more like the 20s along the coast today. Mostly sunny skies in through Lewis and Rehoboth by around your lunchtime. We'll also likely see those temperatures get into the upper 30s. Cambridge as well, a few high clouds to start, but a mostly sunny afternoon. Crisfield as well with that blustery wind coming in off the bay, gusting to near 30 to 35 miles an hour. It's going to feel more like 26 to 28 throughout the day today. Congratulations to Crystal Spicer of Georgetown, Delaware on winning an umbrella from CoastTV. And you can always give our CoastTV First Alert Weather Phone a call for your latest forecast. We'll talk about some snow chances over the weekend in our next half hour.
And after the break on CoastTV News today, current status of coastal bays. We'll tell you when information on bay health is set to be released in Maryland.
Also, offshore wind, the details of a ruling on an executive order that could have ramifications here on Delmarva.
And details on stalled demolition. We'll tell you when Rehoboth Beach officials say work to tear down the former landmark could begin. We'll be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Backing the breeze. How the latest federal court ruling clears a hurdle for the wind farm project off our shores.
A cold and blustery day awaits. It will feel more like the 20s throughout the afternoon, tracking a chance for snow and another Arctic blast.
Demolition decision after nearly a year of waiting, when we will learn about the date for demolition of the building that was once home to the iconic Dolle sign.
Plus, Bay Benchmark. Later today, we'll get a better idea of the status of Worcester County's eastern waterways.
This is CoastTV News Today.
December 11th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being awake with us today on this Thursday morning.
6:30 a.m. on this Thursday morning. I've been telling you, or maybe complaining during the breaks, that I really do need to get my Christmas shopping, and I do have that on the agenda this weekend.
You're making a list and you're checking it twice. Hopefully. What's first on the list for this Christmas shopping extravaganza?
Gotta get the parents.
Oh, ooh, okay.
Gotta take care of them.
You want the best son award? We'll see if that happens.
There is a monetary prize that does go with that.
All right, yes, well then let's take a look at the weather for your shopping forecast. Turning now to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Good morning, Chris Mass.
Good morning, Grace. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And good morning to you, Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. If you're heading out to do some Christmas shopping today, we're going to see sunshine, but it's going to be a cold one. It's going to be rather blustery out there. We're seeing a temperature right now of 39 degrees in Laurel. So temperature-wise, you say, well, I'm not doing too bad, right? 36 Harrington, 39 in Georgetown. We're at 38 in Rehoboth, but the wind is really going to be kind of that thorn in our side throughout the day today, gusting to near 30, 35. We're seeing gusts right now at 32 in Indian River Inlet, 21 in Georgetown. So that's making it feel like 28 in Bethany Beach, feels like 27 in Harrington and 29 in Delmar. Cold front is pushed offshore. That cold air continues to filter in across the coast. You can see snow squalls well off to our west across portions of Pennsylvania. So highs today are going to be in the upper 30s, but with that wind factor, it's going to feel more like 29 by around your lunchtime and hold in the upper 20s through the afternoon into the early part of the evening. Now the winds will subside as we go into the night tonight. In through Friday, we stay cold, dry, more clouds for the day on Friday, and we can't even rule out a late snow shower as we go into Friday evening, but a better chance of snow arrives on Sunday, and we could see some accumulation from that as well. We'll talk more about that in my full 7-day forecast here in just a few moments.
Thank you, Chris. And it's our top story this half hour. The One Rehoboth Hotel set to go on the Rehoboth Beach boardwalk, and that hotel will go where the iconic red Dolle sign used to hang. That was a very iconic landmark in Rehoboth Beach.
Been there for a long time, taken down earlier this decade. Rehoboth Beach is where we have our Elisa Weber. The project's been approved for almost a year now, but that building still remains untouched. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are on the Rehoboth Beach boardwalk in front of the site of the One Rehoboth Hotel, but this building is probably one of the most photographed spots here in Rehoboth Beach. We saw it on postcards. This is where that iconic Dolle sign used to hang. It's where Dolle's used to be, right on the boardwalk. But in 2021, Dolle's moved from this spot, and with that, that sign came down. And the new hotel has been approved since January. After almost a year, we could get a date as to when demolition is set to begin. The city told us that conversation is set to take place tomorrow, Friday, December 12th, at the city's planning and zoning meeting. Demolition signs on the building indicate work was expected to begin around late October, but that never happened. Plans show the project will include 60 hotel rooms and retail space on the first floor. We spoke with people in the area about the project, and here's what one person had to say.
If they would have taken care of the building so that it matched everything else around, I think it would have been outstanding. Then they wouldn't have to demolition it. But since it's in such disrepair, I'm a fan of them coming in and making it look more modernized.
And demolition began on the old Sirocco Motel located on Baltimore Avenue behind this building. But this cherished building right here remains untouched. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Also happening today in Rehoboth Beach, traffic concerns taking center stage. According to the agenda, the city's Streets and Safety Advisory Committee is set to discuss speed limits, traffic calming measures, and signage. Officials will hear from people who live at Henlopen and Columbia Avenue. Also under review, consolidating seasonal regulations. That would include parking, left turns, dogs on the beach. All that into 2 consistent seasons.
A federal judge is striking down President Trump's executive order blocking wind energy projects. It's part of a lawsuit filed by Delaware's Kathy Jennings, Maryland's Anthony Brown, and 16 other attorneys general. In their lawsuit, they allege that the federal agency's actions harmed their state's efforts to secure affordable sources of energy. The executive order attempted to halt virtually all leasing of wind farms on federal lands and waters.
Some things to know: Fenwick Island is looking at an appeal against a Delaware bill that overrode local denials for an offshore wind substation. The bill was signed into law this past June, and it says that if a company wants to build an electric substation to support a renewable energy project, the county must allow it. Sussex County Council voted down the substation application, but according to the new law, if a project was previously rejected, it now has approval if it meets certain requirements.
The Maryland Coastal Bays program is set to unveil the 2024 Coastal Bays Report Card. This grades the health of the state's 5 coastal bays along with the St. Martin River. They're using 6 scientific indicators, combining them into an overall score. The report card gets unveiled at 2 p.m. at Mickey Finn's in Ocean City.
Later today in Dover, a convoy of trucks carrying thousands of wreaths heading to Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. Those will stop at the Dover Motor Speedway for a ceremony to recognize the commitment of honoring America's fallen service members. The public is invited to attend the ceremony, which has been moved inside the Bally's Dover Center due to expected cold conditions. And Matt Pensick will be the MC of that ceremony that begins at 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, Grace. Now, this just in, a so-called river in the sky is causing rivers in the ground to crest in Washington state. The potentially historic flooding is forcing thousands to evacuate.
Amy Kiley shows us how it's devastating parts of the Pacific Northwest.
Officials are advising about 100,000 people to evacuate certain areas of Washington state. An atmospheric river is causing heavy rainfall, flooding, and mudslides.
The situation is extremely serious. The next few days are going to be very critical.
The governor says he declared a state of emergency since some rivers could reach historic levels. Video shows water rescues in multiple areas.
I found myself stuck on a little piece of land out there with my 4 cats and had to wade through water up to my chest in order to get to dry land. It was very cold and very swift.
In south central Washington, shelters are caring for some rescuees.
So what we're doing right now is we're providing obviously shelter beds, meals, dry clothes, a place for their pets.
Officials say at least 2 major mudslides have blocked parts of I-90. This Seattle area gas station is damaged.
It's a lot of sand.
And in northwest Washington, sandbag volunteers are shoring up an old dike system along the Skagit River.
At a time like this, it's all hands on deck.
Forecasters say dangers will continue into Friday.
The impact on Washingtonians is significant now, and it's going to be significant in the coming days, and that is an understatement.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A federal judge granted a request by the Justice Department to unseal the grand jury records connected to Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case. New York Judge Richard Berman mentioned a law passed by Congress last month to release all of its records connected to Epstein. As parts of his ruling, the judge did say, quote, that disclosure cannot come from the expense of the privacy, safety, and protection of the sexual abuse and sex trafficking victims, end quote. It's not clear when the records will be released.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, new information on pond rescue. We'll give you the latest updates from police on the victim.
Also, battling Bucks, how Milford got a Henlopen Conference wrestling win ahead of a big weekend tournament.
And it's time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this holiday season. Today's holiday house photo coming to us from Jody in Felton. And Jody showing us a very nice fireplace. The Grinch hanging out there, hopefully not stealing any of those presents and shoving them up the chimney, Matt.
Also, you can see his hearts. Got a couple in there because remember his heart grew towards the
that day. Oh, Matt. Well, if you'd like to show us your festive decorations we shared during our broadcast, maybe you've got a Grinch of your own at home, take a look at your screen now. Send us in your photos. You can head to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse.
Good Thursday morning, Delmarva. I don't know about you, but I really need to get a quick go on with my Christmas cookies here. We're 14 days away from Christmas. Hard to believe, right? 20 days left in the year of 2025. The year just blew by, right? 38 right now in Salisbury. You see winds out of the west, and those winds are going to be pretty gusty through the morning, and that's all thanks to a cold front that pushed through in the wee hours of the morning. We're at 37 in Milton, 39 Indian River Inlet, 38 Gumboro, 37 in Bridgeville. Wind chills are really going to be the story throughout the day today, and you can see all the blue here indicating the below normal days that we've experienced for every single day so far this month. And that trend is going to continue through the afternoon today. Highs today reaching the upper 30s, but again, it's going to feel more like the upper 20s with those gusty winds. We will talk about some snow chances rolling into the weekend. I'll break those down more coming up my full 7-day forecast.
We do have an update to a story that we reported on earlier this week. A man has died after his excavator fell into a retention pond. This happened at a pond near Slabbridge Road in Fruitland around noon on Tuesday. The Wycomico County Sheriff's Office says 81-year-old Paul Jones was operating that excavator when, for reasons still unknown, it entered a 40-foot retention pond.
DelDOT is announcing a road closure coming to Georgetown later this month. According to DelDOT, the railroad crossing at Depot Street will be closed starting 5 p.m. on December 20th. The agency says this so crews can complete resurfacing and maintenance.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studio.
Good morning, sports fans. We've got action on the mats. It's a Henlopen North duel between Dover and Milford. Up in Dover, Delaware, the Dover Senators hosted the Milford Buccaneers. We've got some wrestling action. Starting things off, Ryan Ferrazier able to get the pin for the Milford Buccaneers, starting things off strong on the mats. Then Wilbur Jowdy trying to reverse a little bit here for the Dover Senators, able to get on top of his opponent, fighting his way for those 6 points. And every word a wrestler loves to hear, getting the pin to win for the Senators, hanging on to ensure the victory. Moving on, Preston Smillick slamming his opponent to the ground, able to get him on his back, shoulder blades down, and another pin coming in for his squad. Then Don McElwee working for the Buccaneers, and he would have it all. 6 points to his name. Milford runs away with it and wins the match 61-18. That'll for sports. Have a great day, everybody.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 8:30, Decatur takes on Bennett in boys basketball. Then we have the final score at 10:30. And on DSN Plus, here are your exclusives. Got some girls basketball starting at 4:30 p.m. when Milford travels to Sussex Tech. 5:30, Mardella visits Snow Hill. Also at 5:30, Y High and Washington go at it in boys basketball, and at 6:30, Dover visits Caesar Rodney in girls hoops.
It's another week in the NFL. This week on Sunday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Dallas Cowboys. You can catch that game right here on Coast TV, and then be sure to stay tuned for Coast TV News at 11. A Star Wars collectible was just auctioned off for a staggering, record-smashing price. Douglas Hyde has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Star Wars is quite a force at the auction block. The original artwork for A New Hope movie poster just sold for a whopping $3.8 million. That's the highest price ever paid for a Star Wars artifact at auction. The sale also shattered the record for the most money ever paid for movie poster art.
Am I sensing some nerves? A little camera shy? Let's do a little warm-up so we're feeling revved up and comfortable for your wedding day.
Talk about pre-wedding jitters. A new teaser trailer is giving us our first look at the drama. Zendaya and Robert Pattinson play a happily engaged couple. Happy, that is, until a surprise revelation throws their wedding week off the rails. The drama arrives in theaters in April. Beyoncé will be back at the Met Gala for the first time in 10 years. Not only will she be attending, she'll also be co-chairing the event with Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour. Mark your calendars, the famed fashion showcase is set for May 4th. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Coming up today on Coast Life, you're not going to want to miss it. We have a special co-host, Rachel Parker of Parker Group. She's stopping by, and we're going to get into the difference in the average age of homeowners, home buyers that is, and why maybe that's starting to happen and how it actually impacts home sellers as well. Plus, we're going to have some fun conversations about that elf on the shelf and how sometimes it's a little bit of a pain to find new ways and new places to put it. So come tune in at 4 o'clock for Coast Life. We can't wait to see you.
Well, the sun's not going to really do much to warm us up today. We're going to see wind gusts near 30, 35 miles an hour. Highs today around 38, but it's going to feel more like 28 at times. We'll talk more about the cold and a round of snow over the weekend. Full 7-day forecast is up next.
And the time is now 6:49 a.m. as we're taking a live look outside. The sun's coming up over Laurel, Chris, and we've been talking a lot about food today. This morning, I think everyone in the studio is pretty hungry, but it's a perfect day. Stay inside, turn your ovens on, and start baking your Christmas cookies. And Chris, I hear you've got some work to do.
Yeah, I promised a lot of cookies to people. I got to get my chocolate crinkles going here. Yeah, coming up to the wire here, coming down to the wire here. Clear skies and ocean view, but it's been a blustery morning there. We've seen some wind gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. We're at 38 degrees. We had a cold front that pushed through early morning hours. We're at 37 right now in Rehoboth, 35 Milford, 39 in Georgetown. Current wind gusts gusting to 34 in Indian River Inlet, 29 in Ocean City, and we're gusting to 26 in Millsboro. So it feels like 28 in Bethany. Feels like 27 in Rehoboth and 28 in Milford. Now, due in part to the gusty winds, we have a gale warning up for the Delaware beaches that runs through 6 o'clock tonight. Winds as high knots, 35 to 40 knot winds offshore, and then a small craft advisory, Ocean City down through Assateague Island, as well as along the bay. We are clear. We're going to stay that way. We're going to stay dry throughout the day today as that cold front pushes in. Snow squalls back off well north and west of the Delmarva Peninsula. Pretty quiet back off to the west as well as high pressure builds in and continues pushing east. So we stay with a mix of sun and clouds today, feeling like the 20s despite sunny skies getting up into the 30s, and we stay cold into Friday. More clouds, especially late in the day, and that could lead to a brief snow shower as we go into Friday evening. There's those winds gusting through the morning and afternoon. Now that pressure gradient will lessen as we go into Friday, which means not that breezy through the day on Friday. Wind chills, feeling like 27 in Long Neck this afternoon, 25 in Ellendale. Those wind chills dipping into the teens early morning Friday. Then we'll see the winds really subside throughout the day. We stay clear and dry through the afternoon, and into the evening clouds will increase through the day on Friday. A cold, blustery Thursday, 38 in Georgetown, high of 38 in Denton, 39 in Vienna, 39 Salisbury to 41 in Chincoteague. Could see a late snow shower Friday afternoon through Friday evening. Not going to amount to much, but then as we go into Saturday, a mostly cloudy day, and then we watch precipitation develop late Saturday through Sunday, and that's ahead of an Arctic front that's going to be pushing through the coast, and you can see this broad area of precipitation that's going to be developing by Sunday morning and into early Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a brief window, quick hitting system as an area of low pressure passes to our southeast, and we're looking at some late snow accumulation as we go into Sunday afternoon. Behind it, another blast of Arctic air as temperatures fall into the teens come Friday morning. We're at 38 degrees this afternoon, a partly cloudy day with those gusts to 35 miles an hour, 25 overnight, not as breezy into Friday, mostly cloudy skies with that late snow shower possible. We start the weekend dry, chilly, still below average despite temperatures getting into the 40s. Then we're watching that period of snow Sunday morning through early Sunday afternoon that could lead to a couple inches. Monday, we're looking at a cold day. 30 degrees is all we're going to do. I think some of us are going to struggle to get out of the 20s by Monday morning.
We are continuing with our Bless Our Children campaign. We're raising money to ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open during this time of the year. And we received this card. This is from Blunky's Service Center, LLC, there in Vienna, Maryland. Great looking card here. Happy Snowman, Merry Christmas. And they also have the message inside, Merry Christmas and a Blessed New Year. We are putting this card on our tree. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help and send a donation in a holiday card, and we may just read it on the air, send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already raised almost $270,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, we'd like to thank all who have donated. Turning now, it is now 6:54 a.m. Matt, time to check in with our coastal pet of the day, Mr. Biggs.
We got a new one this hour. Mr. Biggs has his close-up.
That's a beauty shot, Matt. That's a beauty shot.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Looks like Mr. Biggs relaxing on
Posing,
the couch.
perhaps for a senior picture. I don't know.
He's a handsome man. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. A nice, beautiful photo like Mr. Biggs here. Again, thank you to Deborah for sending this in. If you take a look at your screen.
I love the name. All right. Scan that QR code that you see at the top center there to get your friend to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m. and then we'll be right back for Coast TV News midday at 11, Grace.
And for even more news and coverage, you can count on download our WRDE News weather apps, and you can have a fantastic day.